I'll be talking with you today about interviewing tips. Remember, it will not be the case that someone reads your resume, picks up a telephone, and offers you the job. Your resume gets you the interview. Your performance in the interview is what gets you the job offer. Therefore, it is extremely important to be well prepared for the interview. Today, I want to share 9 tips with you. Everybody has 10 tips or a top 10 list. I felt the need to be unique, so I'll be sharing 9 tips with you to keep in mind as you prepare for your job interview. First and foremost, do your research and do this in advance. This is very easy these days with the internet. There are annual reports available, many materials that you can learn about the organization with which you are interviewing. You want to do that in advance because knowing about the organization enables you to customize your answers during the interview. 2, review and practice questions. Familiarize yourself with the most commonly asked interview questions. For example, tell me about yourself. What are your greatest strengths? What are your weaknesses? Why should I hire you? You should also be prepared for behavior-oriented questions. These are the questions when the interviewer will ask you for an experience from your past or lay out for you a scenario and ask you on the spot to respond to how you would act or how you would behave, that's the name, in that particular situation. I make the distinction between reviewing and practicing questions and responses because looking at a list of questions on a piece of paper and saying to yourself, I think I know how I would answer that, is very different than sitting in a room with someone one-on-one and answering questions as they're firing them off to you, not knowing what you might be asked or when. Third, dress appropriately. You only have one chance to make a positive first impression. Arrive early, never late. There is a balance here. You don't want to arrive too early and have the interviewer feel pressured that you're out there waiting for your interview to begin or to appear over anxious, but you certainly don't want to be late. That in and of itself could cost you the interview. General guidelines are between 5 to 15 minutes early. Ideally, in regard to time and planning, you want to do a dry run early on prior to the interview. Map out your route to get there. Make sure you know where the office is located in the building that you're going to. You don't want something like unexpected construction to result in a major time delay and add to what are probably already butterflies in your stomach on the way to the interview. 5, speak clearly and correctly. Sometimes we become lazy with our speech in our everyday lives. We say things like, I'm gonna run down to the store to get some milk because we're out of that. Be careful to enunciate. I'm going to go to the store because we are out of milk. Also, it's natural to be a little bit nervous before a job interview. Look at that as a positive. It's something that should keep you sharp and on your toes. But sometimes that means we talk in a softer tone, or we're very nervous and we want the whole thing to be over with, so we start talking very rapidly. So be careful of your pace throughout the interview as well. Tip number 6, provide examples when possible. It's one thing to say you possess excellent communication skills, but what does that really mean? Give the interviewer some specific examples or evidence, if you will, from past academic experiences, past professional experiences that actually show how you have developed or utilized whatever skills or qualities you're discussing with the interviewer. 7, be positive. Don't ever speak negatively about a professor, a former supervisor, or an organization. It is unprofessional, and also that sends the message to the prospective employer, the prospective supervisor, that you might be referring to them in that same manner. Ask questions. Be sure to have questions prepared in advance to ask during the interview. The interviewer will usually give you an opportunity to do this at the end of the interview, but do be careful. You want to stay away from topics like salary and benefits during a first interview. And finally, number 9, send a thank you. Within 1 to 2 days of the interview, follow up with a thank you, reaffirming your interest in the position and showing your appreciation for the opportunity to have interviewed.